Today we are drawing lamps, easy, medium, and hard mode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go. Before we get to drawing, let's take a look at some of the art that you have sent me over the course of the last little while. Okay, so for easy mode lamps, what we are going to do is take some basic shapes, 2D and 3D, and turn them into lamps. So let's start with a circle, a square, what are the other shapes? Triangle. Okay, so then spherically, we'll do a sphere, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. A cube and let's do cone and a wedge. So a cone, point, circle, cone, and a wedge. Okay, kind of like that. So to turn these into lamps, we can basically do whatever creative thing we feel like doing. So if we want to, an easy lamp would be for this circle, we could put a lamp shade on top like that. And then maybe the string comes down like this. And maybe the base like that. Some texture. There. Cute little lamp. Boop, boop. Nice. So if we were to turn that into spherical, this wouldn't be a line, it would be a circle. Oval, rather. This would be another oval. And then it would come down like that. And then these... Sometimes those lamps are made out of kind of like a folded fabric, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what that is. And then the sphere comes like this. And then the base isn't going to be just like that. It'll be following that curve of this line. And this line will share the same curve. And there. 2D to 3D. Okay. So now for this square... I've seen these kind of like cube lamps where it kind of looks like this edgewise. And then there's like the outside metal rim is like a touch panel. And then this is sort of like a fabric. And then there's a sort of a light bulb in the middle of it, which you can't really see. It's just illuminated. So that's kind of so then we got to take this, add the, what are they called? Kind of like they're like support structures that the tent of the white fabric is suspended on. So then we're just going to add the corners, which hold it all together. And then the light bulb, here would be kind of the cube. The light bulb kind of goes here and comes down and goes like that in the cube. All right. Not bad. So for this triangle lamp, maybe what we want to do is, how do we want to make this into a lamp? Maybe we'll go like this. We'll add a tube light that comes out the top, and then it's kind of like that. And then maybe the light switch is here and sunken in, kind of like that. Bloop. Maybe it's got an Edison bulb in it. And it looks like a beaker. This is a gift light that you will buy the scientist in your life. Okay, that looks crazy, but I like it. Okay, so we're gonna do it in two different ways. We're gonna do it on the cylinder, so that'll come down, just pop like so, and then there's gonna be a little lip, and then let's do this off to the side like this, just so that we can more easily show how it cuts in. And then we add the switch like so, and then the little metal part at the bottom, and then of course the Edison bulb. So we got to go blip, blip, and then the metal cap on top. That looks crazy and I like it. Let's do the same thing here, but we're gonna have it work a little differently. So we're gonna chop off the top. We're gonna add the cylinder here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Now we'll add the bulb. There we go. And maybe the panel on this side will come, in like that. It's really fun doodling 2D to 3D, just as a general exercise, because it gets you more comfortable envisioning how 2D shapes might look three-dimensionally, and that is useful because especially like when you're drawing comics or when you're drawing something like maybe an instruction manual or something that you have to really visualize, it's useful to be able to draw something simply in 2D, maybe from straight on, and then to understand how it would work in 3D. So lamps, are kind of easy to visualize. They're easy to imagine because everybody has seen a lot of lamps, I think. At least I have. I've seen a ton of lamps in my day. And then so to be able to take a 2D imaginative understanding of what it looks like and then extrapolate it in 3D on the page, kind of useful, kind of a fun skill to get into. So that was our easy mode lamps. I'm going to ink and color these up, and Okay, so there are my easy mode lamps, 2D into 3D, and you can see that when you're drawing in 3D, a little bit of shading really goes a long way to try to sort of help sell the illusion. But my lighting is needing work. This is just a quick coloring job. Learning how light works in art is really tricky, and I use cheats all the time because I just don't have the patience for it. But with that being said, probably for medium mode, I should challenge myself to do lighting properly. In my living room, I have a lamp, floor lamp, stand lamp from IKEA. I really like it. It's really nice. But what's really interesting is the way that the shade blocks the light on the wall, casting shadows. And, I thought this might be a good way to get a light study in. I took a photo of that lamp, and what I'm going to do is just quickly sketch it out from what I see. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this sketch detailing how I do it, just because we sketch from reference all the time, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And I really want to focus on using watercolor to get different lighting values. I noticed that there is the light has a little, it's kind of blown out the image there because it's reflecting off of this shade right back into the camera. I noticed that the light throws light up, boop, boop, and down, so that right around the lamp shade there is, shade, and then coming at the top and the bottom is light. There's another light source, and that is, you can see in the reflection here that the window is open. So you can see shadows that are thrown from the lamp onto the wall from the light, but you can also see that the sun is casting a shadow here. So what I will do is I will try to recreate those shadows on the well, my painting that I'm going to do here with watercolor. Let's try this out. Okay, so I'm just getting a basic watercolor wash down, and what I'm going to do is apply more paint where it is supposed to be shadows, and I'm just realizing that this is not watercolor paper, even though I thought it was. Okay, so there's shadow up here, shadow down here, and then shadow from the sun over here, down there, and then from this light source, well, I gotta do the sun shadow first. I really should have closed the window when I took this photo, but I did not. Okay, so on the blue, there needs to be a stronger shadow right along this line, and I'm just trying to get it nice and thick so that the nice thing about watercolor is, because I'm doing this all over a light wash, it should help to even it out and soften it out a little bit. A little bit of water in there. Okay, not too shabby. Okay, now on the wall here, bloop, we've got to get, it's kind of dark here, light there. So I'm going to get some beige paint. I'm going to apply it darkly here and down the side. Should mix some gray in here too. And then it's kind of like these little remnants here. It's nice and bright there, but it's really dark along the side of the picture frame, top of the picture frame, and over here. And then the light comes out from all around there. And then let's get a little gray. Oops. It's been a while since I've done watercolor, so I am accidentally mixing things together that I don't want to mix together. So I'm just adding some gray paint to that so that it maintains the color of the wall. Okay, and then the rest of that wall is going to be a very light beige, like so. Just kind of, okay, nice. And then here on this wall, it's completely cut off by the paint, so that will also be kind of dark. It's too orange, it needs more beige or more gray, so I'm just gonna mix that color up on the page. And the nice thing about that, in the words of the great Bob Ross, is you can get some happy little accidents. Like, I don't know, just like these two areas sort of being soft and mixing together a little bit. Gray needs to come up here too. So our white is where we have light. Okay, so the top of this is little cylinder is brighter than the legs because the legs are under. So we are going to just add some dark down there. I think I need a different brush. This brush is a little too big for what I'm trying to do right now. Okay. Why'd you look at that? It wasn't dry as I thought it was. That's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna, the underside here, but then the top of it, right there, needs to be, it's almost like this color actually. It's almost an orange. light, almost. Okay, then we have gray around the rim of the lamp. Gray. And then gray around the bottom of the lamp. Yep. Okay, the shade itself is going to have to be, like, there's only one part that's actually white, and that's that blown out spot. So I'm going to try to color this beige around that blown out spot. There we go. Oh, it's all melding together. It's all going sideways. It's all good. And then the shade, just getting some water down on it, and then I will add from the top and to the bottom and try to get it to blend nicely in the middle. Like that. Not bad. Okay. So we can kind of see we have the shadows coming off of the shade. We have the light coming out of the top and the bottom. The weird thing, of course, with watercolor is you kind of have to work from, you know, white as your page and then add the colors around it. I mean, you could cheat, and by cheat, I mean you could just add like white back on top of it, but I like the challenge of trying to do it the other way, where you just are adding colors and leaving the white alone. So I'm just doing the couch now. Okay. So, okay, it's getting there. Add a little bit of gray to this wall here. Okay. Now the photograph has some nice, that's in this frame. I'm just gonna do it messy. It has some blues and some greens. Okay. And a little bit of dark gray, kind of like there. And then this one is a vase. It's a little more easy to see, so maybe we'll fake it a little better. Okay. And then we got some blues. Some leaves. And we got some yellows. There we go. All right, then that frame has a nice thick brown, what's it called? Frame. So we get some brown, and well, it's not brown. Sometimes if your color isn't thick enough, you just gotta stir it in more, the water in more, and then it makes it a little darker. It's kind of like what my living room looks like if you have something stuck in your eye. Anyway, this is pretty fun though, to kind of mess around and try to get color values added into watercolor paint. Not just painting it all the same, but trying to get some shadow to show up by mixing it in with your paints. Okay. Let's see here. We need some more gray. And the cool thing too, watercolor generally isn't a thing that you kind of want to like do it and leave it and not mess around with it. But this isn't like, I'm not selling this painting. So, you know, just keep messing around with it and figure it out and have a good time. You know. Okay, I'm just gonna add some more gray over there to that shadow. I think the last thing I need to do is, well, you know, like, okay. So in the reflection here, I should really add that in. There's just a little bit of a, if you can see, the light and the shadow also reflects. So it's kind of like a little blip, And then it kind of goes over like that. And then you can see the reflection of the window, you know. Maybe I'll add a quick version of that. Okay, not bad. That needs to be darker. Too dark, too dark, too dark. Oh no. It's fine. It's quite all right. We'll just add that around and out there. And now I am starting to muck around too much, but I just want to make that shadow a little more evident. Shadow from the shade. All right. Okay, yes, the last thing I was going to do is crop the image because it's cropped, and I think it would be kind of cool to crop it with some black paint like so. Goes like here. Okay. It goes right here. It goes right here. And it goes right here. I like it. I really need to sketch with watercolor more often because it's really fun. And while there's a lot about this image that I could improve, I really like how the reflection on the one painting turned out and how my really quick, like 4-stroke interpretation of that other painting turned out. It's kind of neat. Here is my hard mode painting. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out in that this is how I envisioned it kind of turning out, and it turned out exactly as I had envisioned. Whether or not it was a good idea to do this, that's up to you. This is kind of, it's funny. So I was intending to get a picture of these at night to use as a reference. These are the lamps that are on my street in my neighborhood. The street lamps. I was like, I want to get a picture of it at night, you know, with the light shining through, and when it's dark out. And anyway, my photo that I took is like literally just like a black sky with a bright burning thing. Like my camera wasn't good enough to capture it very well. So what I did instead was I got a reference image from the daytime and I just kind of made do. Yeah, I'm happy. I did a, you know, acrylic on the bottom, gradient from sort of dark blue to lighter blue-ish, and then I used Posca paint markers on top of it to make it, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you drew along or will draw along. Send me your art at gogomockrocketsheep@gmail.com. I would love to see it. Big, huge thanks to Anna for sponsoring this video, for making it happen. I really appreciate it because I really like making these videos, but it does take a lot of time to make these videos. And so it's nice. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you would like to back me on Patreon, you can. Patreon.com/gogomockrocketsheep. Other than that, yeah, please continue to send me in your art. And if you make comics or anything like that, just tag me. I would love to follow you and read your comics and see your art. So thanks so much.